Hey guys, what's up? This is Javid, the accounting coach, coming at you. So today we're gonna talk about. I'm gonna share a little bit about my story and how I went from being a pizza delivery driver to being a financial reporting manager for a large software company. Quite the journey with lots of twists and turns. Yeah, it's been fun. It's been a fun ride, and every day I'm grateful every day for what I was able to achieve. For me, this is huge. I'm a first in my family to do something like this. I went from, delivering pizza. I remember I was trying to get a job as a bank teller, just because I wanted to wear like a collared shirt and tie to work, because I was just so embarrassed. I don't know. From the ages from like 18 to 24. 23. I delivered pizzas for a long time. Dropped out of school. Originally, I was going down the path to be a doctor. Then I realized, as soon as I got to college, I realized that this is not what I want to do. That was a wake-up call. Yeah, for a good 4 years of my life, I was delivering pizza. And I woke up one day and I was just like, did 4 years just go by that quickly? Like, it felt like yesterday that I just got that job at the pizza place, and I was just kind of lost. Originally, I was doing what most kids do around that age, is, essentially following what other people told me. My parents told me, hey, you have to go to school. For them, it was doctor, right? Like, the big thing in our community was, like, you got to be a doctor. For some reason, doctors and lawyers, that's like the thing to be in South Asian communities. My parents were pushing me to be a doctor, and like when I was little, that's all I was fed, and that's all I knew, and that's all I wanted, because that's what my parents wanted, So yeah, I kind of started on that path. In high school, I got my CNA license. I worked at an old folks home. I volunteered in an ER. Completely different reality from what I live today, or, as you'll see, I lived any point after that. So it was, I was doing everything I needed to do to be on that path. And, I got into college. I started taking, all the pre-med classes, biology, all these classes, and it just hit me. It hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, I did not want to be doing that. Like, working in the ER, the experiences, the things that I saw, I just don't think it was for me, Seeing people in that state, I just couldn't handle it, honestly, to be 100% honest. I saw 2 people die in front of me in the ER. People that I actually talk to on a daily basis, these are people you get close with. But I realized in the beginning of college, like, this is not for me. And I was kind of lost, because, my whole childhood was like aimed towards this goal. And everything in my being, since I could remember, was towards this goal, right? To get me one step closer to this goal. When I realized that that's not what I actually wanted, and I was doing it just for my parents, it just it hit me hard. Like, I was so lost, There's like this vacuum. And I just didn't know how to fill it. So, I was working my part-time job, or at the time, it became full-time when I dropped out of college. I was unmotivated. My grades were falling. I was not focused, because I didn't know what I was doing. For years I had this goal in mind, and now it's gone. It's like most people in that situation, it's like, what do I do now, right? Like, you're completely lost. Your whole identity is shattered, and you have to rediscover it. And so yeah, I was working in pizza delivery while I was in college, and I ended up dropping out of college because my grades were bad, and I couldn't afford it. My parents, obviously, I was having a hard time affording it, financial aid. I lost financial aid, all that stuff. It was pretty bad. I had my real estate license in high school. That's another thing I did. I got my real estate license. So I was kind of all over the place after that. Honestly, I got my real estate license. So yeah, I was working towards this thing, and it just, before I knew it, like, I think I was 23, 24, And it just hit me like a ton of bricks, like, hey, like, you've been delivering pizzas, and this is all you've been doing for like 4 years. Like, what is going on? It was a huge shock, because I was like, I just realized it one day. I think I was like on a delivery, and something just clicked, and I was like, oh my God, like, has it really been 4 years? Like, the 4 years just flew by, and every day was the same, and it was such a terrifying experience. It made me realize, like, life is just flying by. Like, if I don't do something and I don't pick something and find out what it is that I want to do and get on the path to do it, another 4 years is going to go by. Before I know it, I'm going to be in my 30s. Before I know it, I'm going to be in my 40s, and I'm going to be doing the same thing. And yeah, it was scary. It was enough to light a fire underneath my ass. So yeah, it was crazy. So then I just got super motivated. I had my real estate license, so I was doing real estate on the side, but it wasn't really panning out. It just wasn't working for me, honestly. I just didn't have that hustler mentality and, you know, the salesman mentality, I guess you would say. So yeah, but I figured, okay, you know, I have my real estate license. It seems like brokers do pretty well. You know, like, if I get my broker's license, I need a college degree, I'll be able to do something like that. You know, I can sponsor real estate agents and get commissions, and it just felt like a good compliment was like to go back and maybe get a finance degree. So I started, you know, I've always wanted to do something in the finance industry. Even when I was, you know, following the whole doctor thing, it was always something that interested me, but I just never thought I could do it. I never understood, like, I thought, like, Harvard Business School people, you know, those are the ones that get those jobs, things like that. And it's just, I just wasn't aware. So yeah, I went back to school. I pleaded to get my financial aid back. I, you know, worked 2-3 jobs to help pay for the school. Like, I was a different person. Like, I woke up, I did it. Like, when I went in, I went 100%, you know, like, sitting in the front of the class, taking notes, studying, reading the chapter before the class. Like, it was just something, I was someone I'd never been before. Like, and I never took school that seriously. And I never felt like a person that was good at school, you know? No one ever really taught me study habits or anything like that. And, you know, when I was little, I didn't really have anybody to teach me. My parents didn't really show me how to study. And I'm not blaming them for that, but I'm just saying, like, it just was something, it wasn't an identity that I really believed I had. But I was so desperate at that point that I was just like, I have to, this is the new identity, I gotta make it happen, because I was just so terrified of what happened. You know, half my 20s almost gone in a blink of an eye. Like, it was so scary. So yeah, I went back for finance. Figured I'd get my college degree, I can be a real estate broker, you know, leverage that with my real estate license, and I could do something big. And then, you know, obviously when you're in business school, college of business, you have to take accounting. And I took principles of accounting, and the same semester I took the, you know, principles of finance, and I started to realize, like, wow, I'm actually looking forward to my accounting class. I'm not looking forward to my finance class. Like, it was not appealing to me as much. But the logic behind accounting, you know, the nature of, like, the puzzle, and it's kind of like a puzzle, you know, you're trying to solve, and there's, like, it balances, there's logic to it, and there's rules there that kind of make sense logically, and something about that appealed to me. I decided pretty quick, like, I think accounting is what I want to do, and I didn't even know what an accountant was. Like, honestly, you know, growing up, I didn't really know accountants. I didn't really have family friends that I knew of, at least, that were doing that or how it worked. I was just unaware of that whole career path. And so I started researching, I started diving in and digging and seeing all the potential career paths, and it just blew me away. Because I was like, the one thing that really stuck out to me was, I was Googling, or I think I was looking up, like, Yahoo top 10 careers or something like that, and accounting, you know, was on there. But I was like, wait, if I get a finance degree, which one's better for me, accounting or finance? And someone had told me, accounting is the hardest degree to get in business. And I was like, well, if I'm gonna be in business, then maybe I should get the hardest one. So when I looked it up, I realized that you can get a finance job with an accounting degree, but it's harder to get a accounting job with a finance degree. And that kind of solidified it for me, like, okay, this is the path I need to take, because this is the hardest path, and also this is the path that has the most doors that open for you. You can do anything with it. You can do tax, you can do audit, create a business, be a finance guy, whatever business related thing that you do, you have the foundation for it. So it just made complete sense to me to go down accounting, like focus on this 100%. And I enjoyed it, it just kind of was a no-brainer at that point. And that's when I went full-fledged, and I just researched how do you stand out, how the career path is, what clubs you have to join, and what kind of networking events do you go to, and what do you do, and to get every little nuanced detail. And I would always research one step ahead, if once I get into the organization, it's okay, what do I do to get an internship, a good internship? Once you get an internship, okay, how do you get a good offer? Googling how to stand out during an internship, things like that. I became obsessed with it. I remember each step of the way, each big milestone that happened, and each one I was just constantly surprising myself, whoa, this is weird that it feels so natural for you to go down this path. First unpaid internship, and then that led to the first internship in public. So first unpaid internship, I worked for the CPA who opened his own tax practice. I literally helped him move furniture into his office. He just started it, and it was just doing individual returns. And he taught me how to do bank recs and things like that, but it was very basic. From there, I got a job at a religious organization. It was a Methodist church organization that I went there, and I worked for the headquarters. And so all these churches around the region would reach out to us for help for audits, and they'd be little small-time audits. They'd send us their books. Sometimes the financials would be literally written on paper, and that gave me my first taste of audit, and having to essentially test financials. And yeah, that was my first taste. And then after that, I started networking, got the internship in public in audit, and kind of leveraged my experience from the small-time audit to get that internship. Got the internship. I was the only intern. I saw so much during my internship, so many different industries. I was doing real work, and it's just, my bosses were telling me you're doing real work, you're doing staff level work. It's not just so it was encouraging. It gave me a lot of confidence, because I was okay, maybe I can do this, And then after the internship, I got a full-time offer, and so got the full-time offer, and then I'm working there. And originally the plan was to stay there till manager, or as long as I could, or maybe till a partner, who knows. But I was there for almost 5 years in public, and 2 years in, I was studying for the CPA, and I'm a senior associate studying for the CPA. So as a senior, you're already working crazy hours, and then on top of that, I'm studying for the CPA, which is crazy hours. And it was rough. It was rough. It was really rough. Then once I got the CPA, I started to get more clarity on what I wanted, because I had more time to think. And so I just started thinking I don't think I want to be a partner. I don't want to. Essentially, when you get to partner, you're essentially just selling business, right? So it's more the sales side than the technical side. Obviously, you have to know that, but a lot of it is sales, right? You're trying to get more clients and increase your book. But yeah, it just didn't appeal to me. So I was why even stick around till manager? And then I started looking at industry jobs, I was it's a good time to probably leave and get into a good position, get better pay, better hours. And then that's when I jumped into my, the home builder. I went to be an assistant controller there, and that was rough. I learned a lot. Like, I got through the learning curve that they talk about when you come out of public, which is real. There's a learning curve for sure. But I came out of it and I realized what I wanted out of a career and what I didn't want, culture-wise and industry-wise and everything, So then the next place, I came to where I'm at right now, it was just a culmination of all the lessons I had learned in my career on what I wanted, and from trial and error and making bad decisions making decisions that showed me what I didn't want, and it also showed me what I did want. And that's powerful, that's powerful, because sometimes you gotta make some you gotta make some mistakes to get to where you want. And yeah, I couldn't be happier, honestly. The place I'm at right now, like, I couldn't ask for more. Perfect amount of challenge, perfect culture, everything is amazing. But yeah, it all started at Pizza Hut. It's crazy. It feels like yesterday. I was delivering pizza and but yeah, so I went from not being able to get a bank teller job, just wanting to be able to wear a collared shirt so I could tell people, hey, I work at a bank or something, instead of telling people I deliver pizza, which is embarrassing for me at the time. I don't know why, because it's perfectly fine, but I think it's because I did it so long. It was almost like becoming my identity, and that was scaring me. And so I just wanted a bank teller job. I just wanted to be able to wear a collared shirt and a tie. I didn't care how much money I made. I just wanted to, be able to tell people that I work in a place where they're like, oh, okay, And I couldn't do it. I remember I could not get a bank teller job to save my life. And now, now I'm a financial reporting manager, and it's just it just blows my mind. I'm so grateful. It's crazy, honestly. But it's proof that, anyone, you can do it. As long as you have the right mindset and the clarity of mind, you can change any identity you have. You may have some limiting beliefs or some thoughts that, hey, that's not the type of person I am, which is me. I'm not the type of person that gets good grades. I'm not the type of person that works a job that has a tie. I'm not the type of person this and that. All those things ended up being completely false, all those thoughts. And I believe that's the case with anybody, as long as you take the time to figure it out, because it took time. I had to sit down and really dig deep and do a research and try different classes and see okay, there's a lot of jobs, real estate license, CNA license, I was just all over the place. But the investment and time and trying to figure out what I would actually enjoy versus just doing something for money or prestige or something, that paid off, because now I do it not for the prestige, but because I actually enjoy it. The days kind of fly by when I'm immersed in some of the work that I do, and it's just, I would rather have that than, I'd rather make, 100,000 doing something like that than a million. I'd rather make 50K doing something like that than 100,000 doing something that I just hated. So yeah, that's my story. That's how I went from a pizza delivery driver to a financial reporting manager. And yeah, it took a few years, took some commitment, took some late nights, took some time where I questioned my career and I wanted to quit. But I am here and I love it. I'm proud of where I came from and where I'm going, and yeah. So yeah, guys, that's my story. I wanted to share it with you guys. Hopefully it inspires some of you out there. And just like me, when I was in the beginning stages and all the doubt I had, it was hard to find someone that I could really relate to, that, you know, I kind of just, I guess you could say, fake it till you make it. No, I just kept going because it was I had no other choice, you know? But it would have been nice to have someone that I knew that came from a similar situation as me, that was thriving, and that, you know, it's kind of a role model. I want to keep doing this. I want to keep posting and try to share some of my experiences, and hopefully that helps somebody out. Anyway, that's my story. That's kind of a rough, and then, you know, I can always go into details in other videos, but it's kind of a summary of my trajectory, my story, and yeah, hopefully it inspires some of you out there, maybe somebody in the beginning stages, you know, starting this journey and kind of unsure on the path to take and like the possibilities, and maybe doubts, maybe you had doubts like I did. And I hope it gives you some kind of confidence or inspiration. But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the comments. And if you like the video, thumbs up it, maybe subscribe if you like the content and you want to hear more. And yeah, I look forward to sharing more stories and maybe some insight and kind of sharing my experience with everybody, with you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.